talk about what we need to know, or at least should know, about practicing before the IRS.
Karen, that's a great idea, because when you're talking about practicing before the IRS, that's a confusing term in and of itself.
Yes, it
okay?
is.
And what they should know, most of them don't know,
That's
in
right.
our opinion. Okay, but what we're really going to dive into are the regulations governing the practice before the IRS. So, Karen, let's go ahead and look at this topic.
So let's go over the learning objectives.
Karen, that's a great idea. But before we do, we got to tell them this course is about ethics.
Okay.
And we've been here before. We've
Yes.
done this before. And you guess what? It's really the same information. But guess what? If they want to be a certificate holder, or if they're an EA or a CPA, every year, what do they got to do?
You have to have at least 2 hours of ethics.
Absolutely. So let's go ahead and look at this. What are our learning objectives? What's the first one?
Well, this is pertaining to the Office of Professional Responsibility, or OPR, and we'll talk about their vision, mission, objectives, and history.
That's right. And I think it's really important to understand some of these things so you can see what's actually governing the tax practice body as a whole out there.
Yes.
Okay? And if we look at those and we dive into those, I think it'll give us a good perspective starting the class.
And the statutory authority, that's going to be your definition of fitness to practice.
Well, let's put it in layman's terms for them. Statutory authority, what laws were created that gave the OPR the access or the right to govern this area of tax?
Right, okay. And the regulatory and other authorities.
Okay, and so basically we had the initial statutory authority.
Yes.
This other regulatory and other authority have actually built on it and made it more advanced and more complicated, and it is what we actually have today.
Okay. And then you'll have your guidance for all your administrative practice. That's your definition of practice and identifying the regulated community.
So that's guidance. In other words, think of guidelines.
Yes.
Here's the guidelines if you're a tax practitioner or if you're practicing before the IRS of what
Okay.
you need to do or must do or should know, that type of thing. And I think guidance, what is guidance? Think of it as guidelines.